It is Labor Day, a holiday to recognize the social and economic achievements of American workers. The Valley has been known for its strong union ties, starting all the way back to the steel days with the steel mills, and its unions fight on despite setbacks in the labor industry. Ask Me Local 226 President representing healthcare workers, Tom Connelly, joins me here now to talk about the state of unions in our area here and across the country. Tom, thank you for being here on Labor Day.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yes, so let's talk unions, because Economic Policy Institute says interest in workers joining a union is surging right now. We've reported on stories about that in recent years, but the number of workers actually unionizing is declining. In your experience, what might be causing that?
Well, what I think is causing it is that it's becoming increasingly difficult to work with management and the bosses as far as unions go. And so a lot of people don't see the benefit with unions. The other thing is that when you're starting to organize, a lot of people say, I don't need the unions because I'm being treated pretty well at work. So until they're not, then they're not really interested in unions. And when they aren't being treated well, then it gets to be messy trying to organize them.
Yeah, and we saw that in the history of when the union started to rise.
That's correct.
And I'm wondering what you see in terms of the Valley right now. We've made a lot of strides.
Well,
we've come a long way.
The Valley's lost a lot of businesses that were unionized, and I think that's hurt us as far as the Central Labor Committee goes. We lost steel workers, we've lost auto workers, we've lost a lot of people that were big union players, and they're not with us anymore. And so the smaller locals like we are, we're a nurses local, and the smaller locals like that, we don't get the support that we used to get from these larger unions.
Right.
The AFL-CIO, the Teamsters, things like that. And so it makes it difficult for you to work at that.
Because stronger in numbers. I mean,
that's correct.
We see that in the history of how things have played out. In your field of healthcare, are there major challenges? Are you seeing membership dwindle? Because at the same time, we're also seeing a rise in demand for nurses and doctors. Post-COVID, even, we saw that.
We have a rise in the demand for nurses, and therefore nurses can pretty much go any place that they want to go to get a job. But one of the things like now is that my hospital's closed right now. Trumbull is closed, and a lot of my members are going to non-union hospitals to get jobs there. A lot of people that were nurses were squeamish about unions because they felt like they put the patient in a bad place. I found that it puts the patient in the very best place because it has two people advocating for it now. Management and the union is advocating for them. And when we get along, it's really great. When we don't get along, then it gets to be a bit of a problem.
Yeah, we see some of that dwindle into the headlines and bubble up into some of the news coverage.
Absolutely.
Along the lines of the hospitals, wondering if you're hearing anything about Insight hospitals reopening. Senator Bernie Moreno, he told us on Sunday that he expects that to happen within the next 30 days. What have you heard?
I don't know where Senator Moreno gets his information, because the last time I heard him talking about Insight, he was saying they were stepping away from the Valley. And then I checked with everybody, and they were not stepping away from the Valley. And he only comes to mention them when he's in the Valley here. And so I don't know if his information is accurate. I hope it is. I hope they're going to open soon. We're hoping that the hospital opens, but we're having tough times with them right now to get them to open, because they're leery about accepting our contract and things like that. And a lot of the nurses are frankly nervous about coming back because they didn't pay us the last time they let us go, and we're still fighting with them about our vacation pay.
And real quick before we go here, because we got just a couple seconds, do they feel like they need to find another job now? I mean, everyone needs to pay their bills.
Most of them have found another job now because they can't afford health care. That's the big bugaboo about working on your own. If you don't have health care, you can't afford to pay it. You can't afford to pay COBRA for that now. And so most of them find another job.
Absolutely. Well, we'll watch to see what happens with the Insight hospitals and also unions. I know you're working hard to stay alive and fight for, the things that those workers need. So thank you for taking the time to join us here on Labor Day.
It's a pleasure, and thank you for having me.